Hello guys and welcome back to the channel. So in this video I want to talk to you about the case for not selling Palantir at this price. Notice it's the case of not selling Palantir, it's not the case of buying Palantir at this price. Quite a big difference. So Palantir has hit $25 and went over $25 actually yesterday and in today's trading day, but it didn't manage to hold that position. And to be honest, if you look at these three amazing candles, the stock went like 50% in 4 trading days. That's highly unusual, and nothing ever goes up in a straight line. So I'm very much expecting a pullback, so much so that I actually sold $30 covered call options on the position that I have, and I've been very much against selling cover calls against my position, because I don't, if my shares would ever get called away, I would get effed from behind because of taxes, because my position is basically 200% up, and then I would not be able to buy back in the same amount of shares because I bought it for the long term. But this option is 8 days long, and the strike price is $30, and I'm like, there's no way that we're going to rally another 30% up in 8 days, and I got $500 paid for these options, so I just couldn't resist free money. Okay, so don't blame me. So let's begin with this video. Please make sure that you're subscribed and you like this video. So why would I not be selling Palantir? So I see a lot of people who are, talking about selling Palantir. Chris Patel was buying put options on Palantir. And I just want to make the case of why Palantir is not a sell at these prices. So basically, I went through the reports that Palantir released again, and the more I read it, the more I like these reports. And the thing is that the growth of the company has just started. Like, they have just turned around the ship, and their, growth is re-accelerating. There's no indication that it's going to stop anytime soon. I don't want to go into, the numbers, but for example here, they closed 103 deals over $1 million, and that is a 2x increase compared to the prior year. Then in the US, where they are doing the boot camps, let me see where they have it. They have had a 70% year-over-year growth in revenue. That is so much freaking revenue growth that if it continues for a few years, it will like bump up the whole company's revenue growth, right? Because it will be such a big part of the company. I don't think that they will be able to keep up these growth rates, but what I'm trying to say is that if they significantly re-accelerate the growth of the company, then the company is very, very cheap at this point. So, again, read the annual letter again, and basically any and everything that they're doing, they're really firing on all cylinders. The only thing you could maybe not like is that government revenue was slow in this quarter. But why this call and guidance was so amazing is because they were basically saying that they're expecting to get contracts already in this quarter, and it's going to re-accelerate. And then literally the day after, when the stock went up, they did get a $650 million contract, which they are sharing with other people. So it's not exactly $650 million, but you can see it with your own eyes that it's really accelerating. So everything is accelerating. They're coming up with new products. The boot camps are really, really working. And if they manage to basically do the boot camps also internationally, then international is also going to re-accelerate. And okay, so I cannot give you financial advice, and all I can tell you, and this channel is not about that, I want to share my research and show you how I think. So I bought Palantir for the very, very long term. This is my Palantir model. That is a very, very simple model. It's a KISS model, keep it simple, stupid. And you can get access to it if you join the Patreon. There is a link in the description box below. And then you can put in your own assumptions. One thing that greatly changes the model is how much operating margin they have. And this is their adjusted operating margin. And we used to think in the Palantir community that they're going to have something like 25%. This was originally in my numbers. And you see that that would result, even with a 30% growth, only a share price of $20 in 2025, right? But we were proven very, very wrong, and they majorly increased this number. It was 34% in this last quarter. Next year, they're guiding for 31 point something percent. So I don't know if they can keep it. So I'm just going to count with 32%. And you can see that just this bumps up the stock price by $6. So just with this bump, and this is in the bag, like they're basically guiding for this. We can see that they have already done it. They might even go higher because lately they have been just growing and growing and growing on this adjusted revenue. Then the next question is the growth. So they guided for a 20% growth, which I think is a very sandbag number. Because there is no sign that the AIP bootcamps are stopping. There is no sign that the demand for AI is stopping. Then the new customers have a net dollar retention, so they will also probably spend more and more with Palantir. So, and if we go from that, they managed to do 70% with the US customers. So let's say that they sandbag the numbers, and I think this is how the street is looking at it. And let's say that the growth can go up to 40%. Then the stock price is quite cheap at this point, and if you buy it now, you would get a 20% return still up to 2025. And the stock price by 2030 should go up to 138. And even if you would buy it at 42 currently, you would get a 20% compound annual growth on your stock, which is fantastic. I'm very happy with that, right? So I feel that basically this recent increase in the stock price was due to the street. I think it was two things. It was the institutional buyers finally buying in. And this is also the reason why we might not see a pullback, because look at this volume. That is not retail. Retail doesn't have this kind of money. So this was a lot of institutions who were saying that we need to see certain numbers in the report for us to buy in. And I believe that this was the report where there was no one left in the institutions that could deny that this is an amazing company. So all the institutions started to pile in, but they weren't piling in to trade the stock, right? So this is why we went up 30%, and I thought we should get a pullback. But no, the next day it was 10%. And I was like, okay, now we must have a pullback. Okay, the next day it was plus 4%, which was insane. I've never seen a rally like this. It's like a Bitcoin type rally, okay? And the reason I believe why this is happening is because the big money is buying in, and they didn't buy in to swing trade this thing. They bought in to be part of the AI revolution. This is a secular trend, and they're going to be on this train for the years to come. So there is very few sellers that you can buy stocks from. And when you have a lot of buyers and not a lot of sellers, you get this. So again, still on the case of why you shouldn't sell Palantir at this point. On Palantir Weekly, by the way, I'll be on Palantir Weekly in a few hours, so please make sure you watch it on Amit's channel. There is a guy called Dom Rinaldi who is sometimes there. I really respect him because he's a very, very long-term investor. And when NVIDIA had their AI moment and it went to $400, based on the numbers that they reported, NVIDIA jumped up too much, okay? And then Amit was asking Don, why are you not selling your NVIDIA? It's clearly expensive. Do you think it's expensive? And he said, yes, I think it's expensive, but this is not how long-term investing works. And Lord and behold, the next report that NVIDIA came out, they reported such a jump in earnings that it made, like if you adjusted the numbers in the model, it made 400 dirt cheap for the stock, and now the stock is at 700, and this guy is still not selling. And I believe something similar is going to happen with Palantir, that each quarter they're going to beat, and the numbers are going to get better and better and better. And again, what if I'm wrong? If I'm wrong, we're going to get a year or two of this stock going sideways, but I invested for something that I can hold for the next 10 to 20 years, hopefully longer. And I'm fully expecting this stock to go over $200 or maybe $300. And I'm not expecting it to happen in a linear fashion. Yes, I believe it will be some places when it will go up a bit too much, and then it's going to go sideways, or it's going to go down a bit too much. The point is, it's very, very hard to time. Case in point is I saw quite a lot of people who were waiting and saying, I'm not buying Palantir, I know they're doing very good, but I want to see this earnings. How did that work out for you? If you just waited one day, you had to pay a $30 premium for this stock. So I think it's just better to own this, sit on it. That's my style of investing. I want to do zero thinking. I want to do my due diligence. And then I just want to follow the company and not do any thinking, and preferably not do anything. And I think that this is a perfect stock for that. So this is why I think that you should not sell Palantir at this point. I'm also not buying at this point because there's a lot of extra expectations baked into the stock price. If the stock doesn't go to a 25-30% growth, then the price is overvalued here. Again, there is a chance, I think 50-50, that they are going to beat this growth expectation. So maybe the stock price is cheap at this point, but that's really chancing it. Where the stock was an insane deal, it was before earnings. I made a lot of videos about it. We even had an emergency live stream with Arnie. The live stream aged really well. It was emergency live stream before Palantir goes over 20. And when I feel that the stock is very undervalued and it's worth investing again, I'm going to make videos about it again. So stay tuned. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to support the channel, there's a Patreon link in the description box below. And see you over there on Palantir Weekly. Have a nice weekend. Ciao, ciao.